बहुत ही छोटी उम्र में अपनी एक्टिंग करियर शुरू कर दी थी और बिना किसी ट्रेनिंग के इनफैक्ट आज बहुत ही मंझी हुई एक्टर मानी जाती है। शी इज वन 2 नेशनल अवार्ड्स, 5 फिल्म फेयर अवार्ड्स और पता नहीं कितने सेवरल अदर अवार्ड्स एंड इज टुडे considered one of the finest leading ladies of the Hindi film industry. Please welcome the very gorgeous, the very talented Tabu. Well, before we get on to the discussion, a very, very warm welcome, Tabu.
Thank you.
It's great having you on the set. We were getting bored actually, me and Naseer waiting for you to come on the set.
So we needed some glamour on this.
Some glamour on the set, and we got lots of it.
I've added enough.
Fantastic.
Great.
You know what Naseer has been saying, and what is actually part of this discussion, and there doesn't need to be any controversy.
I need to know what was happening before I came.
Before you came,
I'm like...
I was saying that untrained actors should not be around. They have no business getting any work.
Bye.
And only trained actors are what it's all about.
no, in fact, when I...
Apologies for my career.
the idea of having Naseer bhai and you was that एक तो नसीरुद्दीन शाह हैं जो trained actor हैं और जो इतने कमाल के actor हैं और दूसरी तरफ आप हैं जो इतनी कमाल की अदाकारा हैं लेकिन trained नहीं हैं. That was the point, sir.
That was the point. So what I was saying was that these untrained actors should not be around.
We need to get out of the film industry, basically.
They need to get out of the film industry.
If Naseer bhai right now is taking my trip, but let me also tell you a small incident which I want to actually ask you whether it's true or not. ऐसा कभी हुआ था कि आप नसीर भाई की कोई वर्कशॉप अटेंड करना चाहते थे एनएसडी में और इन्होंने आपको मना कर दिया था ये कह के कि आप डिस्ट्रैक्शन होंगी इनके स्टूडेंट्स के लिए?
वो भी डांट के, बहुत जोर से डांट के. बहुत साल पहले मैंने ऐसे डरते हुए फोन किया था
कि मैं आना
चाह रही हूँ छुट्टी. आई थिंक एक दो में
डांटा वांटा नहीं होगा.
डांटा था.
might have sounded like that, but the fact is it would have been because you were too well known and those kids are as it is anxious at the prospect that I'm going to land up there.
Right.
And had you also landed up there, Subhash Ghai also at one point asked if he could attend, and I told him no because it'll make the kids awfully anxious about it.
You felt like you missed some opportunity to learn under the tutelage of Mr. Naseeruddin Shah.
Yeah, but I really wanted to go and see what this whole thing is all about and you know how acting is taught because I don't know the concept of teaching or learning acting as a subject. So and I really wanted to. I thought it'll be like go and have some fun kind of a thing, but the way Naseer bhai spoke to me, I was like, okay, this is serious stuff. Let me not even get there.
You wanted to go and have fun.
It's not a question of it's so serious or anything. It's just a question of self. No, but then how did you go about learning? If on your behalf, I may ask, is something that I'd like to also know. How did you go about doing such good work?
I don't know, but I feel like the actors who are not trained actors, I think we all learned it along the way somewhere with trial and error, and you have like a vague idea of what acting is all about. So of course then
what is that vague idea you have of acting? I mean,
see, we didn't have any idea. I mean, we are starting at 16.
Correct.
So you don't know anything. You don't look at acting and acting as like
craft.
an art form or anything serious like that. You've grown up watching Hindi cinema, the typical commercial entertaining kind of movies on weekends, and that's all your exposure to Hindi cinema is. And you just have this idea of looking good and doing stuff that you've seen heroines do on screen.
Isn't it better if you actually train in the craft and then kind of hone your skills on the job? Isn't that better?
You're not going to learn your entire craft in 2 years' time anyway.
Correct.
You see, so learning may or may not be necessary, you know, as I've said earlier.
Tabu, आपने बहुत सारी ऐसी फिल्में की है, साजन चले ससुराल, all the big commercial pot boilers, and then you've done अस्तित्व, मकबूल, namesake. आपने जानबूझ के you went towards that kind of filmmaking or?
There was no particular reason, और मतलब जो अच्छे roles मुझे मिल रहे थे, मैंने उनको कर लिया बस, वही reason था.
आपने ये नहीं देखा कि ये commercial है या ये art है?
कभी मैंने सोचा
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
नहीं.
आपको लगता है कि अगर आपने अपने करियर के शुरुआत में कोई ट्रेनिंग ली होती तो आपकी स्टाइल ऑफ एक्टिंग या आपका ऑलरेडी जो एक एक्सेलेंस का लेवल है वो बढ़ जाता या कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता?
मुझे लगता है कि मैं जल्दी अच्छा काम कर पाती, मतलब इतना टाइम नहीं लेती ट्रायल एंड एरर करके सीखने में और मिस्टेक्स कर करके क्योंकि आज की जनरेशन में आई थिंक फायदा ये है कि सब सीख के आते हैं ना.
They all come ready.
They know what their flaws are and they know how to correct it, and they're into that.
They don't always know. They think they know. You see, there's a double-edged sword. There is a danger there as well.
उन्हें लगता है कि उन्हें पता
Training
है.
and you feel you know it all. ये एक खतरा जरूर है. So I don't know which side of the argument I'm now on.
आपको लगता है अगर तब्बू ट्रेन करके आती तो इनके लेवल में फर्क होता कोई?
I really cannot say because, as I said, some of the biggest dolts I've met have been trained actors. Some of the most useless actors I've come across in my life have been trained actors, so-called trained actors. So, without naming names, I can say this. And I've met some absolutely marvelous untrained actors as well. And she's one example. Konkona is another example of that. I think what has kept her work fresh, Tabu in particular, is this quality of not taking yourself seriously and not considering yourself having learnt it all.
Also, I feel it's like an experience that you're having with people, no, Naseer bhai? I mean, when you're acting on a movie, it's more what is happening inside your body and your emotions, and so much has happened over the past few years, and also your capabilities have reached a certain level now with all that work that you've been doing. So maybe these were not my capabilities in the beginning.
एक चीज मैं नसीर भाई को बताऊंगा जो शायद इन्हें याद नहीं है, एक्टिंग को रिलेटेड है. लोगों को लगता है कि मेरी पहली मुलाकात इनसे तब हुई जब मैं इन्हें राइस प्लेट में डायरेक्ट कर रहा था, लेकिन कई साल पहले मैं नसीर भाई को मिला हुआ हूँ फिल्म सिटी में. कहाँ, कैसे, कब? ब्रेक के बाद.
Not just what you have learned and if you have learned and which family you're coming from or which acting school you've excelled in and all.
Welcome back. You're inside Bollywood with Rohit Roy और मेरे साथ हैं the two doyens of acting, so to speak, Naseeruddin Shah और Tabu. And both of them are being equally modest.
How was it directing, Naseer bhai?
मुझसे सबसे पहले यही सवाल पूछा गया कि how was it directing Naseeruddin Shah? And I must tell you, and I must tell everybody who's listening, that people are scared of him unnecessarily. He's a breeze to work with. He took my film to another level. And sir, may I please thank you on camera today for being part of my film. You and Shabana ji were absolutely fantastic to work with, and Rice Plate wouldn't have been without Naseer bhai and Shabana.
Wow.
That's sweet of you to say that. No, but it was fun participating.
Can direction also happen without learning the craft?
Yeah, I mean, I probably worked with more first-time directors than any other actor in the world. And I have never regretted it. Except in some cases where they were trained directors.
Okay.
FTII directors is something I'm allergic to. Absolutely
क्यों
allergic.
ऐसा क्यों ऐसा?
They make me burst out into a rash.
Tell me why.
FTII directors,
लेकिन क्यों?
they're ill. They're infected. That's why. They make me burst into a rash.
Coming back to the point.
But I think you can end this discussion on a very harmonious note, that there was with no debate, no disagreement. We are both untrained and trained actors, both fully in agreement on the fact that an actor has to train himself.
But that is true. That is true, actually.
Yeah.
That is true.
Whether you
go to
do
school,
it on the job.
Did you ever feel slightly inadequate, or did you ever feel that I wish if I knew the craft a little better, I would have performed this scene better? Did you ever feel that?
I doubt it. I doubt if you would have felt that. And I can testify to that because a person who instinctively knows the right path to travel as an actor is not concerned about these things.
I was too involved in my own thing and wanting to do my part well, you know.
मुझे लगता है कि अगर आप क्राफ्ट सीख के आती तो शायद आप अलग एक्टर होती, अलग किस्म की एक्टर होती, तो लेकिन it would have taken you a shorter while to get where you've got today after say 10
I don't
years.
think so at all.
No?
Because there are a lot of other factors which are working. It's not just what you have learned and if you have learned and which family you're coming from or which acting school you've excelled in and all. It's also what chances you get and what chances you've got.
Right.
And I am me because of the chances and the film that I got, and I performed them. If the heroes would have refused to work with me,
that is another thing.
or the producers and directors wouldn't have cast me, so with my training, then what I would have done?
Yeah. What I can make out of it is that there's one person who's been through the entire rigmarole of having achieved a lot in terms of an actor, and she believes that it's opportunities more than schooling. और नसीर भाई जो हैं जो आजकल
फेंस की दोनों तरफ बैठ जाते हैं।
दोनों की तरफ सिखा भी रहे हैं, सीख भी रहे हैं, ये भी कह रहे हैं कि सीखना जरूरी भी है। Well, ladies and gentlemen,